And thanks for staying with us here on the Market Day Report, brought to you by Ariat. Good morning once again. I'm Janet Adkison. While the ongoing crisis in Ukraine continues to create concerns over fuel prices in the United States, biofuel leaders are calling on the White House to provide relief at the pump through higher blends of ethanol. Well, President and CEO of the Renewable Fuels Association, Geoff Cooper, joins us once again with the latest. And Geoff, as always, thank you very much for your time this morning. First of all, would you give us an update on the current uptick in fuel prices and what's contributing to that rise?
Well, good morning, Janet, and thanks for having me. And yes, oil prices are now at a 14-year high, the highest we've seen since 2008, and it looks like we're headed for record levels. And of course, when oil prices go up, that means prices at the pump for gasoline go up. This morning, we're seeing the national average for retail gas prices above $4 a gallon for the first time since 2008, and again, it looks like we're headed for record levels there as well. So we think this administration has a big opportunity to put a lid on gas prices by allowing more ethanol to be blended into the fuel supply. And if you look at prices at the wholesale level today, we've got ethanol at 80 or 90 cents per gallon less than gasoline, and that spread is going to continue to widen, we think, as gas prices continue to go higher. So if you're using more ethanol and less gasoline, that's going to help reduce the cost to the consumer at the pump. And we think, the Biden administration can take a few modest steps to allow retailers to increase the amount of ethanol and gasoline, and that could really help provide some relief at the pump. So last week we joined with 5 other groups, including Farm Bureau and National Farmers Union, corn growers, and others, to convey that message to the White House, and we hope they're listening.
So you've reached out to the White House and sent that request, but have you heard anything back, or when do you expect to hear something back?
We haven't heard anything back yet, but we certainly intend to stay on the White House. We think there is a incredible opportunity to help provide some relief immediately, and just so folks understand, we import about 200,000 barrels a day of crude oil from Russia. And when that oil is refined, we get about 1.4 billion gallons of gasoline from it. We have, in the ethanol industry, the spare capacity, the unused capacity right now to entirely replace all of the gasoline that comes from imported crude oil from Russia. And so we think, we ought to be using that domestic resource. We don't want Russia's oil. We don't need Russia's oil. We ought to be focused on increasing domestic energy production, and that includes increasing the production and use of ethanol.
Geoff, have you heard any feedback as to whether there may be some support from the administration?
Well, we know there certainly is interest. We've had some good conversations in the last week or two. It's pretty easy to look at the impact. All you have to do is drive to any gas station that's selling E15 or E85 today, and you see a massive discount. Those fuels are being sold at a much lower cost than E10 or certainly than ethanol-free gasoline. So it is getting some attention inside the Beltway with the administration, and we hope to see them take some action to really facilitate greater use of ethanol, especially as we head into summer.
Geoff, on that note, of course, a lot of folks are maybe seeing that sticker shock when they do pull up to the pump. Remind us what vehicles can take E15.
Well, virtually every vehicle on the road today is legally approved by the EPA to use E15. 97% of the vehicles on the road today can legally use E15. It's really any vehicle built in 2001 or any year after that, which again is most of the vehicles on the road. And then we've got, another, 25 million flex fuel vehicles on the road today that can handle even higher blends, all the way up to 85% ethanol. And that's where we're seeing really significant discounted pricing at the pump. So we would encourage folks to check your owner's manuals and use these higher blends, because they're going to save you money.
All right, Geoff, as always, thank you very much for your time. President and CEO of the Renewable Fuels Association, Geoff Cooper, joining us this morning on the phone out of St. Louis.